very, very good morning. Okay. It's news to me. I think the same as all of you. Please do share, John. I've just put this out, same as yesterday. I've just put them out. So please do share. Just move my screen into the right place. Give me 1 second. Okay. So Charlotte Green, who is the local democracy reporter for the Manchester Evening News, Reach PLC, in the pockets of the Labour Party politicians, involved in stitching up Warren Bates. Remember, Warren Bates was accused of harassing her or intimidating her or something or another, and that was used as evidence against him for his ASBI. The same Charlotte Green who wrote to me with a list of preposterous 20 questions, of which I responded to her online here, and we've seen nothing of the article since. So this is the Charlotte Green who wrote this article. And as a victim of malicious prosecution myself, where Charlotte Green and her associates in the mainstream media have tried and executed me prior to me even being charged, I'm hesitant to just jump in with both my feet and say, oh, he looks shifty. He wasn't at the council meeting 2 weeks ago. Oh, where's this guy been? So I'm not going to do that. As a victim of persecution myself, those of you who've been on this journey with us for some time will know how the Oldham West and Royton MP, Jim Ignatius or Rook McMAHON, attempted to frame me for the firebombing of AROOJ Shah's car. And had it not been and I'm hesitant to use the word good fortune, it's more like divine intervention if you ask me, had it not been for that, and AROOJ Shah parking her car elsewhere away from her house that night, and the neighbour's CCTV video footage picking up what really happened, which was the door being left unlocked, and those who blew up her car, smashing the window after they'd already opened the door. Had it not been for that footage emerging, the likelihood is I would now be in prison. So I am hesitant to play Charlotte Green's game because I know her and a newspaper are sponsored by the Labour Party. Across the Northwest, they are in the pockets of the Labour Party. So I'm hesitant. So she's causing mischief. And as a consequence of her actions, 30, 32, 31, 32 men, councillors, and I have very little love for most of them, are being whispered about. And again, I know all too well what that feels like, having picked up my daughter from school with the whispers going on around me after the Oldham Times falsely, maliciously accused me of being arrested as part of a child sex exploitation investigation. So now we have a whole host of councillors from across all political sides, and this cover-up, this complicity by a council and its leaders who repeatedly make the wrong decision. At every opportunity, they repeatedly make the wrong decision. Let me go through some history and legal context first, because I've seen some of you post and I've seen others post. Sorry, that's a phone call. But I'm going to clearly with information of who it is, but I know I'm hesitant, as I say. So what's taking place here is in the absence of information, and this is why, sorry, and I'm not critical of you people, I'm not, but this is why they've got away with it for as long as they have, because we don't understand the rules well enough, and we speculate, and we get involved in what we think the law is rather than what the law actually is. So let's go through it. Before we even get through to it, let's go through some historical, let's go through some legalities first. Just give me 1 second. Let me bring something up. Don't think you want... This is an article that goes back to June 2007. Councillor arrested on rape claim. In the MEN, (2013), updated in January 2013. You can see it there. An Oldham councillor has been arrested on suspicion of raping a 16-year-old girl. Councillor Asaf Ali, who represents Labour in the Alexander ward, was arrested last Tuesday and has been released on police bail until August the 1st, pending further inquiries. So those of you who are claiming that you can't name these people, you're wrong. You can name these people, and the Manchester Evening News has previously named people. So why are they not naming the person now when they've previously named someone? There is nothing to do with this being an ongoing police investigation or any of that nonsense. There is nothing stopping them from naming anyone. And just to demonstrate again, this is of the parliament.uk site. Once it loads. Regarding anonymity for defendants in rape cases. Currently, people accused of rape can be named, and cases involving public figures often attract significant media attention. So legally, they can be named. Okay, so those of you involved in this armchair lawyer, police experts, no, they can be named, but Charlotte Green and her newspaper have intentionally not named them. So let's get that out of the way. So what are the reasons why Charlotte Green and her newspaper have not named them? And this is her article. Oldham councillor arrested on suspicion of rape. An Oldham councillor has been arrested by Greater Manchester Police on suspicion of rape. The male councillor was arrested at their home earlier this month after allegedly raping a woman. They have been bailed by police and continue to serve as an elected councillor in the borough. A spokesman for GMP said, blah, blah, blah. When contacted by the local democracy reporting service, that's Charlotte Green, a spokesperson for Oldham Council said the authority could not comment on a live police investigation. The political party the council is a member of declined to comment when contacted about the arrest, but Charlotte Green will not tell us who that political party is either. My instincts are this is an attempted stitch-up to discredit a councillor on behalf of an out-of-control council that has already attempted to incriminate me and failed to do so. These are not the actions. This town is run by mobsters. Let's be clear, this town is run by mobsters. Is it beyond the realms of possibility that someone has been put up to this to take out one of the leading councillors? So that's one of my theories, and that's the theory I come up with first, because it's the one I suspect the most. We know Greater Manchester Police, Oldham Council and the Manchester Evening News have worked together in tandem to protect the convicted child sex exploitation offender, criminal, former councillor Rod Blythe. That is a matter of fact. All three of them worked together. Else why did the police not issue a statement following his conviction? Why did the council not issue a statement? And why did the newspaper, who were keen to follow me out of court before any conviction and imply horrendous allegations against me, why did they not comment on Rod Blythe? In the book that will be written on Oldham, the panorama investigation, whatever it is, in years to come, and I hope all of us are still around to see it. And when that reckoning comes, you will see Jennifer Williams, Charlotte Green, Jack Tooth, whoever else from the Oldham Times, the Oldham Chronicle, the Manchester Evening News, all of them complicit in targeting members of the public alongside Greater Manchester Police and Oldham Council via their Operation Hexagon, involving Jim McMahon MP, Debbie Abrahams MP, Sean Fielding, former leader, AROOJ Shah, former leader, and now Amanda Chadderton, current leader. We know how they work. We know how these people work and how they work together. And we know that these methods employed by the Labour Party at a local level, for those of you who watched the Al Jazeera programme on the Labour files last night, go to the highest tier in the party. This is a mobster-run organisation, run like a criminal network, with tactics more likely found in North Korea, China, and Putin's Russia. So that is what I think is going on, first and foremost. Secondly, the reason why she's not named him. And please do share. Please do share. Please, if you find value in these transmissions, do buy me a coffee. Because I find myself reluctantly in a position where I am having to amplify the voice of my townsfolk, because those who are elected to do so and those who are tasked to do so in the mainstream media do not have the courage or the conviction to play this with a straight bat. So my immediate instinct is it's a stitch-up, and it's a stitch-up involving Charlotte Green, the Manchester Evening News, Greater Manchester Police, some cartel clowns, and of course Oldham Council. And it's a stitch up to target one of the key opposition councillors who has been speaking out bravely against the cover-up of the grooming and gang rape of our town's children. Those are my first instincts. It is the tactics of the Labour Party, and it's the tactics Jim McMahon MP used, and I don't have parliamentary privilege to protect myself. The tactics Jim McMahon MP used when he attempted to frame me in the firebombing of AROOJ Shah's car that the police still to this day refuse to comment on. You'll also recall that the Manchester Evening News was reporting on my current charges against me, where I have no means of defending myself due to my bail conditions, failed comprehensively to mention how AROOJ Shah and DS Dean's criminal attempts to maliciously prosecute me and frame me collapsed in court. That's DS Christopher Dean, Detective Sergeant Christopher Dean from Tameside Police Station. For those of you who follow my work, join me on Sunday evening where I will share DS Dean's testimony and also AROOJ Shah's testimony, and you can ask yourself how tens, if not hundreds of £1,000s of public money had been wasted in attempting to frame me. So I think framing is and malicious smearing is the first place I go to with this. The second place I go to, bearing in mind the MEN had previously named a Labour Party councillor who was arrested for rape and now are reluctant to do so, is that it is likely to be a senior Labour Party councillor or a senior Conservative or a senior Lib Dem, or, likely to be a senior councillor. Otherwise, they'd have, if it was one of the minions, they'd have just pushed him under the bus. You've all got Charlotte Green's Twitter handle. You'll see on her Twitter page, she's refusing comments. This is the BBC-funded, taxpayer-funded local democracy reporter refusing people to ask her questions. This is, in my honest opinion, this is malicious reporting at its worst. And I find, not only do I just find it abhorrent, and in the way other decent councillors are now being implicated as potential suspects of rape, I am deeply concerned by this new twist in the politics of this town. And I encourage each and every one of you to refrain from speculating, to ask Charlotte Green to name the individual, and if at all possible, when a name does emerge, whichever party they belong to, whoever it is, ours is a democracy and we believe in the rule of law. And an individual is innocent until proven guilty. Despite how Jim McMahon, Amanda Chaddison, AROOJ Shah and Sean Fielding and all the other Labour politicians would rather it be. I'll see you on Sunday. Enjoy your day. I think I'll go for a walk. I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing this game. And I'm not being a stooge for Charlotte Green and the South Manchester fake Liberal Labour Party supporting scumbags. very, very good morning.
Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them.